Hello everyone. Can you guess what we're going to make today? Does anybody know? I can't hear you. What is that? Oh, this is a plate of chocolate chip cookies, and guess what? This is what we're making today. So who's excited? Alright, we need to set our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and let that warm up while we're mixing our ingredients. Alright, who knows what we need to do before we start cooking or baking or getting ready to do anything in the kitchen? Does anybody know? That's right, we need to clean our hands. So if you don't have access to a sink to wash your hands in with soap and water, then you need to get some hand sanitizer. Make sure you clean your hands good before you get started. And there you go, now we can start. Alright, for our chocolate chip cookies, we're going to need half a cup of melted butter, half a cup of granulated sugar, a quarter cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We know that smells good. Then we have 1 egg. We have 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. We have a half teaspoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of salt, and we have 1 cup of chocolate chips. Now we need to mix the melted butter with the sugars. And you want to make sure here that your butter is not too hot. If your butter is hot, it'll melt the sugar, and that doesn't make a good cookie. So make sure your butter is not hot. So let's mix those together very well. Okay, now we're going to add the egg and the vanilla, and we're going to mix that together until it's all combined. That's how it looks. And now for the dry ingredients, we got the flour, we got the baking soda, and the salt, and we mix that all together very well. Now we have a nice batter. We add in our chocolate chips and mix those together. You just want to make sure you don't want to mix it too much here, because then you'll get a tough cookie, and that's not what you want. We want soft cookies. Now we need to scoop our cookies out onto a parchment-lined sheet pan. You can use whatever size scoop you want, depending on how big you want the cookies. We're going to make smaller cookies with this scoop. I was able to get 21 cookies. Now we're going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees. And they'll take between 7 and 10 minutes depending on your oven. Alright, make sure a teacher or your parents take these out of the oven because they're going to be very hot. Alright, you see they're a little bit brown around the edges and they look a little bit underdone in the middle. That's okay. We're going to let these cool on the tray, and when they do that, the trays are still hot, the sheet pans. So the cookies are going to keep cooking. So you don't have to worry about that. They'll be perfectly done in the middle. They'll be nice and soft and they won't overbake. Now what you can do after letting these rest for a couple minutes, take them off and put them on a rack to cool down quicker. So it's up to you. Now the hardest thing to do right now is to wait for these cookies to cool. I know you want to eat one, they look good, the chocolate's melting, you've been waiting for these cookies, your mouth is watering, but if you touch them you're going to burn your hand, and 2, the cookies are too soft right now. They need to set up and become sturdier so you can pick them up. I know that's going to be hard, but we have to do that, okay? And I'll be back when they're cooled down so we can try some. Alright, so these have cooled down enough and we're going to try some. This is my son Jason. He's here with me because he loves chocolate chip cookies and he's been waiting to try these. Alright, pick one up, see what you think. Look at how good those look. Just lightly golden on the bottom, lightly golden edge. Chocolate's still melty in these. Look at that. Nice and soft. All right, you ready? Wow. That's a really good cookie. What do you think? So good, he can't even speak. So you see how easy those are to put together. So you can do these in your classroom or at home. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for cooking with me. Bye-bye.